Hi there Pisces, thank you for joining me for your year 2014 forecast. This year begins with a dazzling array of planetary energy on the first day of the year. This creates, if you like, a solar return for your sign, a backdrop for the whole of 2014. So what are the components within this? Well, the Sun and Pluto are side by side in your sector of hopes, of idealism, and of course you can be one of the most idealistic of planets. And it gives you also the hope that your future will brighten, that friendships can strengthen, that sociability can come your way. And all of these things are possible throughout this year. But there is also Mars. Tough guy Mars, the planet of drive, the planet of instant gratification, is in a deep, sexy but compulsive part of your scope. And it's in opposition with Uranus. This can set up some great excitement around your love life all through the year. It's not necessarily going to be all smooth, but there certainly can be some dramatic events, and some of these may also be very, very sexy indeed. And this could see you drawn to someone in a very compulsive way, but at the same time battling with yourself whether it's the right thing for your future. But also, Mars is in a part of your horoscope for 7 months of this year, an extraordinarily long time for this planet, which is giving you extra grit when it comes to building up your financial resources. And in its opposition to Uranus, it's saying don't be fearful of trying things that are more imaginative and unique. It really can see you get ahead. But the square, the T-square that's formed on the first day of this year with the Sun and Pluto suggests that sometimes practicalities or your needs may butter sharply against that more idealistic side of your nature. Now, the other key influence at the start of this year concerns Saturn. Saturn is the planet of structure, but also of restriction. Yet it's located in the part of your horoscope that's to do with expansion. So how does this pan out? Well, the key is that you can expand, but you're going to have to work jolly hard for it. It doesn't matter if you're learning new skills or ideas, going through higher education, traveling, or meeting out or reaching out to different cultures. The growth can be considerable, but it may at times be frustrating. Just bear this in mind. Now also, as you end up January, there's another T-square that's forged, this time involving Jupiter, and Jupiter has probably been very fortunate for you over the last half of 2013 in some kind of way, and it can be very fortunate for you in the second or the first half of 2014, because it's in your sector of personal expression, of joys, of love. If you've met somebody new and dazzling in the last half of last year, that can be something that's given you enormous comfort, but it can happen for you if you're single in the first half of this year too. But Jupiter does oppose Pluto from the end of January through to the early part of May, asking you to be realistic about some of your hopes, particularly as both planets buttress up against Uranus. But Uranus and Jupiter is one of those funny squares in that it can be challenging if we're overconfident, but also it can bring breakthroughs of fortune. So again, it's asking you to have the courage to follow your faith when it comes to your talents, flares and skills. Don't deny them. April sees 2 amazing eclipses. The first is asking you to be more conscious of when you get a need to spend money, because I do feel there are going to be times this year when you do get a massive desire to go and splash the cash. Try to work with why this is. The solar eclipse, however, at the end of April can give you an amazing ability to dazzle people with your ideas and personal communication. In the next 6 months, this can really ramp up the pace of life as well. It's a very exciting influence. However, Jupiter moves in the middle of July into your sector of health, work, commitments. And it's asking you to take more seriously your welfare, to study more about what can make you fitter. And you could see yourself much more active through this, but also having a stroke of fortune around a work role in the last half of the year. Now, at the end of July, Mars is moving. Now, it's been in that part of your horoscope which could see you boost your earnings, or it boosts your amorous streak, but then it moves into your sector of exploration. And in the first couple of weeks of August, it would be a great time to go on holiday. The second 2 weeks, however, you can go through a period where you may go through immense frustration, but it could also lead to an amazing breakthrough too. That takes us through to the last quarter of the year, when we come up to the end of that wonderful solar eclipse, remember, that began in April. And then we have a second pair of eclipses. The first one is asking you to think more about your associations, the people that you link closely with, your deeper alliances. However, the second one is very much more about growth, travel, excitement. And I think the last quarter of your year can be very exciting indeed. And all the things that you've been working so profoundly hard to achieve, all through 2013 and through the first 9 months of 2014, can all come together marvellously well as you really start to master Saturn in Scorpio. And so much growth can occur, and you can look back on the previous 2.5 years with a fantastic amount of personal satisfaction if you have shown the stickability, because your sign is mutable and therefore you can float around subjects. But to really succeed this year, you really need to get your head down, decide on your priorities and stick at it. Thank you for joining me. Good luck and goodbye for now.